In today's video, we're going to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition and everything that we know about this phone. And I wanted to go through it and give you an update to it so that you have it in one spot because it's kind of been scattered all throughout multiple videos. So I wanted to catch everybody up. I'll probably do multiple of these, but this is what we have right now. So first of all, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy. They're not going to wait for the 8 Gen 4, which should be out in October or November. They're going to go with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is still an amazing, fast processor to get AAA gaming, to get really good results with any high intensity apps that need all that power. So this is going to be great for that. We don't know about RAM yet. I didn't put it on here, but you've got to expect it's probably going to be at least 12. I think it's going to end up being 16 gigs of RAM though. So let's just say 16 gigs of RAM. But yeah, 6.5 inch, 120 hertz outer display, and also an 8-inch, 120 hertz inner display. It's much bigger than what we have now with the Galaxy Z Fold 6, 6.3 and 7.6. You can see it's much bigger on both sides. That's 6.5 versus 6.3. I've shown this before, like the big differences between the inside and outside displays in a separate video. And it's quite sizable. It's really going to make a big difference, and it's going to be great for consuming videos, just multitasking. Really, multitasking is probably going to be the biggest thing that really makes a difference with this. To have two big side-by-side windows next to each other, it's pretty freaking awesome, and it's a great way to use that huge 8-inch display. And then on the outside, the keyboard is going to be a lot more comfortable. Anything that you're going to do on there is going to be a lot more comfortable because it's just going to be a little bit wider and a little bit, probably not taller, but really just a little bit wider to be a little bit better usage of that outside display. Now, the displays in general, especially on the inside display, will not be made of ultra thin glass. It's a new, more powerful display technology underneath that display, and I think that's going to help with obviously durability when you're using this phone. A lot of people complain that they don't think these phones are durable. This should probably end up being the most durable Galaxy Z folding phone they've ever released, especially because of a couple of things, which I'll mention in a moment. But one of those major things would be a more stronger display. 200 megapixel main camera. This is literally supposed to have cameras that are very reminiscent to the S24 Ultra. I don't think they'll be exactly the same. Obviously the megapixels are the same, but I think it'll be a slightly more updated, or maybe even a little bit of a lesser camera, but ultimately be either the same, better, or fairly close in general to what you get with an S24 Ultra. And that does and is cooler and better to say than having a kind of mid-tier or lower tier of the camera department like the Z Fold 6 and just the Z Fold line has had in general. So this is a great get for that. It's going to have a 5 megapixel under display camera. So it's 4 megapixel currently on the Z Fold 6. It's being upgraded to 5 megapixels. So the photos should be a little bit sharper, a little bit better. I don't expect it to be like so massively better that it's going to be like the camera that most people use for the outside camera when they're taking selfie photos. I just don't think it will. I think it's still going to be kind of crappy, but expect some, I would say it's probably going to be a nice improvement, and it's going to be so large of an improvement that you're going to really, again, want to use it for all your selfies. I really don't think so, but at least it is being upgraded. Now, the other thing I was mentioning that the phone's going to be more durable would be the back now, titanium back plate. So not that the back was all that bad anyway, but it should be a little bit more stronger and durable because of that titanium back plate on the back of the special edition Z Fold. Now, this phone is also the thinnest foldable phone Samsung has ever released, or will release, I should say. 10.6 millimeters thin when folded and 4.9 millimeters when unfolded. So you're getting a really thin Samsung Galaxy phone. Again, the thinnest folding phone they've ever released, and that's pretty freaking cool. I'm just curious on the battery. How big is that battery going to be on there? It remains to be seen. But yeah, I would be pretty curious with that. S Pen support. That was one thing we've been hearing a long time, that there was going to be no S Pen support on the Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition. But just within the last few days, we've heard that it will support S Pen, and again, that is absolutely humongous. That is huge. That is awesome, and it's a huge selling point for this phone to have. China and Korea releases only, and it would happen in September. Now, I don't expect this phone to be released anywhere else besides China and Korea, even though they also have received the Z Fold 6 just a few months ago, and they're already going to release a new special edition of this phone. It should not be coming over to where we live or any other place of the world, really, except for China and Korea. But I do think that you could import it probably. Is it going to work with your carrier? The Chinese version, probably less. But if there's a separate Korean version that has different radios, that will probably work better in America, for instance. And then released in September. Don't know exactly when, but I'd have to guess probably late September is when this should come out. And it's probably not going to have One UI 7 on it because that's still in beta at this point, or about to be released in beta. So it's probably going to launch with One UI 6.1.1 or something a little bit later than that. But that's pretty much what we know about this phone so far. Again, when new details come out, I will put another updated list on this phone out, similar to what I'm doing now. But right now, this is what we know. We don't really know price yet. Heard maybe mid 2000s or high 2000s for the price, meaning like $2,500 or $3,000, something like that. But other than that, it looks like a really powerful folding phone, and the folding phone that I know I've always wanted because of that bigger displays on the outside there, the ultra cameras being the 200 megapixel camera on there. Thinner is always cool. I don't need it to be, but it's a cool thing to have. The power, it's just is really cool looking in terms of the specs, what we know. Let me know your thoughts on this. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.